welcome everyone. We will open it up for Game 1 starter Bailey Ober. Go here in the front row.
Welcome to Houston. You guys go up against a team that has been more than beyond dominant in this area and in this league in the past years. How do you approach this matchup, and how do you prepare to go up against this team at their place? It's going to be packed tomorrow.
Yeah, just extremely thankful to be in this situation. Something that you dream about really as kids. You want to be up in these moments. Get to play on the road at packed house. We know it's going to be loud. You know it's going to be hostile. But yeah, just kind of treat the preparation as like a normal start. And we know this team's got a really good lineup. And I'm just going to go out there and try to do what I can and keep everything simple and try to execute the best I can.
Go over here in the middle.
Bailey, when did you find out you were getting this start, and what emotions ran through you at that moment?
Yeah, I found out probably about 20, 30 minutes ago. So yeah, it was an extremely fun conversation to have with Rocco. I was kind of prepping just in case this would be the situation. So I had all this stuff this past week. I was prepping just in case I was going to be the guy. But yeah, it's a great conversation to have, and I'll be ready to go.
We'll stay in the middle there.
Hey, Bailey, you started the year in the minors. You got sent to the minors at the end of or start of September for a little break. What does this mean to you in the context of all of that?
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's a blessing to be here. I mean, it's been a long road this season, just like every year. It's a long journey, but put a lot of work in this year and had a pretty successful year so far, and we're trying to carry that into the postseason, and just going to lean on my routine and carry that into tomorrow and be ready to go and face these guys.
We'll stay in the middle, second row.
Bailey, that second reset in September, how much did that take you back, if at all, and what did it do for you coming out of that to come back and join the team after that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little disappointing at first. It was a little surprising that I was going down, but I try to look at it as what I can take from it and what can I be positive about what's going on instead of trying to be a little negative about it. I really used it as more of a mental break. I know I hadn't been pitching the best at the time up in the big league, so I try to use that as a mental reset. And just able to go down with the guys down in AAA, and they're able to kind of take my mind off performing and trying to have all the success up here. Just get back to the grittiness of baseball and having fun being out there and playing relaxed and loose. And I feel like that was able to get my mentality to kind of switch around and help me prepare for September and then October baseball.
You hand it up to the front here, right behind you.
Yes, sir. Congratulations on getting the start. As a pitcher, you're trying to win every pitch, pitch by pitch, batter by batter. But when you look at that Astros lineup, what's the overall feeling you get when you see that? Is it tougher to just stay in the moment of every pitch when you go, oh my gosh, this guy does this, and I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good question. I faced the Astros twice in 21 when Carlos was here with them, and that lineup was unbelievable as well. So I feel like it forces you to focus throughout the entire lineup, and then the entire time you're in there, there's no really breaks in the lineup. And some pitchers can use that to their advantage. It helps them stay locked in a little bit more, and I'm hoping to do that and just lean on past experience pitching here. I know the crowd's going to be a little different, but just lean on past experience and stick to myself and be simple out there and just focus on me and the catcher.
What were the results of the 2 games in 21?
They were okay. I threw 1 game at Target Field and 1 game here, so I have experience throwing here. I enjoyed throwing here last time. It was up and down game, what I can remember, but I enjoyed being on the field and throwing on a great mound, and hopefully tomorrow I get the same comfort.
Go on the left in the middle here.
Bailey, was the conversation with Rocco here or on the bus, and what did he say to you? What did he tell you made the decision?
Yeah, I was here right when I got here. I got got changed, and they pulled me into his his room, and basically he was asking me how I was feeling, how preparation was this past week, and asked if I was ready to go, and then basically said, yeah, you got tomorrow, so be ready and go get them. And it was a pretty short conversation, and just that's about it. I was excited, and now I'm looking forward to it and trying to get locked in.
Were you wearing the dad hat at the time?
I was not. I changed already.
Stay in the middle.
Did you feel like there was anything to be gained from watching Sonny, watching Pablo the two playoff games already?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's more of a composure type thing, just with the elevated crowd levels, the noise, being able to stay locked in and not let the outside forces get to you too much. Just try to tune everything out and go out there and play baseball. Try to keep it simple as possible.
Go in the middle.
Yesterday, you said they kind of hinted to you the start might be coming. How much did that help you just prepare so this isn't something you really just learned 30 minutes ago and keep you locked in during the week?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even after my last start in Colorado, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be on the first roster just because I just thrown. But they kept me they kept me in the same routine. You know, they kept me on the same bullpen schedule, and that kind of relayed to me just like, hey, you're probably going to get a start. We don't know when it's going to be. So I was just ready for it, either going to be today or whether it was game 4. But yeah, today, like you said, just getting the normal scouting, the normal routine, normal bullpen, just get everything kind of lined up for today.
Go on the back right.
Bailey, take me back a little bit to growing up in North Carolina. You know, it's obviously postseason start. You're going to get this great opportunity. It seems like you're excited about it, but can you kind of take me back and give me a sense of when you're a kid, when you're a teenager, when you're in high school? How did you visualize stuff like this? Did you think, oh, that'd be cool to be there, or that'd be cool to be me in that position? Can you kind of take me back a little bit and give me some context for your childhood and growing up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've loved baseball since I was 4 years old. This is all I've ever wanted to do. I think I wrote a letter to my first grade teacher saying that I wanted to be a professional baseball player. At the time, I was a Red Sox fan. My parents grew up in the Northeast, so I got to watch all their success growing up, and I got to see people in my family cry for the first time when they won the World Series in '04. They waited a long time for that, so I know what a lot of baseball means to a lot of people, and I know this fan base has been starving for some success, and just watching all those games in the playoffs growing up as a kid, when I was on TV, staying up to 1 to 2 in the morning watching them play. That's really all I ever wanted to do. I wanted to be in these situations. I want the pressure. Want to go out there and just have fun and enjoy the moment.
Go in the middle.
Really, I think if I remember right, you were coming out of a hunting trip in the woods when you first learned about the 40-man spot,
Yeah.
when you first got put there.
Yep.
From that point to today, how much have you learned about yourself and how much have you grown to kind of help prepare you for this moment through your experience in the big leagues?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was, like you said, I wasn't expecting to get those phone calls when I was in the woods hunting with my family. But it's been a wild ride. I've been trying to enjoy it and enjoy being with my family every step of the way. It means a lot to me and to them to be able to be in these situations. But yeah, it's definitely a growing process every step of the way. Ever since I got added onto the 40-man, I feel like I've been trying to add to my arsenal, trying to get better every single day. And that doesn't stop in season, whether it's preparation-wise, trying to learn from teammates, watch opposing pitchers, see what they do, see what works for them. So I feel like throughout this entire process, the last 2 years we weren't as fortunate to be able to make the postseason, and now that we are here now, just trying to take all those moments, memories, the good and the bad, the last 2 years, and try to channel it into tomorrow.
Go back on the left here.
Does it matter that it's Justin Verlander you're facing, or does that just make the story better someday?
Yeah, I think so. It's just another Hall of Famer that I get to go pitch against on the same day. It's unbelievable. Got to throw against Kershaw in LA earlier this year, so it's quite it's just a surreal moment to be able to throw against Verlander in the postseason. Looking forward to it and looking forward to telling my kids about it one day.
Anything else for Bailey? All right, Bailey, thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Gracias, man.
Get started.
Hey, Rocco, what were some of the factors that led to going with Bailey over Joe or Kent or anybody else?
Well, he's had a great year, so I think that's one thing. We have 5 starters that have done a real nice job for us all the way around. So I can't tell you it was an easy decision picking amongst them. But Bailey is a guy that he offers a pretty unique look. He's pitched real well lately. He came off of the little break that he had later on in the year, really strong. Overall, we just really like what we've seen. They haven't seen him lately. I think it's been a couple of years since they faced him. And that's all kind of woven into it. But again, you know, we picked the best possible guy that we could opt for Game 1, and we're going to roll with Bailey, and we feel good about it.
On the second row in the middle.
Rocco, how have you seen Bailey evolve as a pitcher over these past 3 years?
Well, it's kind of like a question it's not a very straightforward answer, because the day he showed up in the big leagues to pitch for us, he was already like a somewhat similar version of what he is right now. He's a very unique guy, obviously, because of his size and his delivery, where the ball comes out of. That's not typical. He's a strike thrower. He doesn't get it done with pure velocity, but there are times where he gets it up, 93, 94 at times. But his ability to actually pitch is a huge strength of his. He does a lot of different things to get guys out. He can change speeds. The changeup has become a good pitch for him, a pitch that he's used a little more than he did originally. And he threw his breaking ball when he first came up a little softer, and he's found a way to tighten that up too. So he's made some good pitching adjustments to make himself even better than when he arrived. But when he arrived, he was already good.
Stay in the middle.
Rocco, you've had 2 tough conversations with Bailey this year, once in March to send him to the minors, again in September to send him down again. What kind of context does that add to this moment and the meaning of the moment for you, to you? Yeah,
he's a guy that he's the epitome of the tough-mindedness, and a guy that he doesn't dwell on things. He's very much a guy that's just looking for the things that, what can he do? What can he control? What can he take advantage of to help himself in his career, and not ever get brought down by anything. The things that he had to deal with this year, this goes all the way back into the off season for him. When I had a conversation in the off season, when I called him and kind of explained to him what the rotation looked like going into the year, but he didn't necessarily take that as a huge negative of any kind. He actually took it, built off of it, had something to kind of look towards and point towards. When we called upon him, I mean, he was throwing great. He was ready to go. He pitched great all year long. Every single time he pitches, we have a chance to win. And I mean, that's what you want. I mean, he goes out there. He's a very competitive guy. He makes adjustments very well. He makes them on the fly. And if something's working for him, he'll take advantage of that, and if something's not, he has other weapons. So there's a lot of things he can do.
Hey, Skip. He mentioned that he literally found out that he was going to be the opening starter like about 30, 45 minutes ago, and I was wondering, is there was a reasoning behind that to leave him all the way to this point? Is that strategically just to throw off the opponent, or because really you didn't know which way to go until 30 to 45 minutes ago?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to them in person, and so we had a travel day yesterday, and instead of trying to get everything done then and having every deliberation and conversation yesterday, we just discussed a little bit, got on the plane, flew here, spent some time last night and even this morning talking about the decision we were going to make, and I wasn't I didn't come to the decision until probably 10 minutes before I called him into my office.
And if I just one quick one, everybody talks about the pitcher facing Verlander and what say you. How about you facing a future Hall of Famer manager, Dusty Baker? Does that mean something special to have such a formidable opponent in front of you, Hall of Famer opponent in front of you.
Yeah, I have an incredible amount of respect for Dusty as a manager and as a person, and not just the things he's accomplished, but who he is, and the way he makes you feel when you're around him. That's not just for his players. He does that for everybody in the game that he's been around. Even just having a conversation with him, you get the feeling that he's a very special guy, and you can see how he's had a lot of the success that he's had. So he's a guy I've always watched on the other side of the field and tried to pay attention to and see just how he approaches different things and manages his team. Everyone's going to manage differently, and every team operates differently, but he's done a lot of things right over the years. That's for sure.
Far left over here. No, two.
I know it's the playoffs. Every player, I'm assuming, understands that. But is it a tough conversation with Joe Ryan, set to pitch Game 3, the last round, and not getting the call yet?
It was not a very challenging conversation. I was pretty straightforward, and he was very open to basically anything that I had for him. Like basically the feeling I got when he left the room was, anything we need, he'll be ready. And every series is different, so this isn't just like we line 5 guys up on towards the end of September, and that's the way we're going to roll as long as we play. No, we're gonna move some things around if we think it's the right thing to do. But Joe is lined up to pitch for us. He has something. He has a plan in front of him, and he'll be fine. So he said, "I'll thumbs up. I'm ready to go."
Stay on the left.
Rocco, Bailey wasn't on the roster, so obviously there's a move. Can you tell us what that is, and do you expect any other roster moves before this series?
Oh, this is easy, Phil. No. We'll know soon enough, and we're still talking about it. We're still discussing. Yep.
Go back to the middle.
What do you think the national audience is about to learn about Joan Duran, watching him blow guys away in the ninth?
Well, there's nobody else in the world that does what he does, and I've said that about him before. So for the people that have been around us, I mean, he's like a one man. He's like an explosion. He goes out on the mound and he goes at hitters with things they probably don't know exactly what they're looking at either, because they haven't seen it before either. And he usually comes out on top. And when he does it, he doesn't just get the outs. It kind of looks the part too. It's the ball's moving, and he can take over a game, both with the results and the feel of the game when he arrives in the ball game. So I look forward to watching him throw several times in this series.
Did you guys learn anything about his ability to rise up to that moment in the playoff environment particularly?
I never really had any doubts about him. I mean, this is a guy that arrived in the big leagues on the scene and immediately kind of took over a late inning role for us. And I think he loved it from the beginning. I mean, he came in, he did it better than almost anybody in baseball. He's doing it again just like that. Biggest moment of his career. He goes out there and he gets it done. And he's he cuts his finger, he's bleeding. The trainers are on the field, fixing his hand. He throws a couple warm-up pitches. Took a couple of pitches to kind of find it and settle back in, but when he did, the feel of the game when he's in the game is different than most pitchers.
Go on the front right with Christy here.
I had a couple things to, follow up on his roster question. Is there any chance that Buxton will be included in this series' roster?
We'll see. I'm not going to answer the roster questions right now, but Buck's going to go out. I think he's going to hit a live BP today. We're going to have a live BP session set up right after our BP and ground balls and our pitchers throw and everything today. So that'll be 3 to 5. I think Buck's going to take part in that today. But as far as the decisions that we end up making on our roster, we'll finalize those tomorrow.
And have y'all decided on a starter for Game 2 yet?
I don't mind talking about that. That's actually pretty straightforward. Pablo and Sonny are going to pitch the games, Game 2 and Game 3. Yeah.
We'll go in the middle.
Rocco, from a strategy standpoint, you guys haven't had to do this yet, but how much does the makeup of the bullpen with having Maeda, Paddock available to you and fresh, does that give you flexibility to go to a quick hook if you had to and be aggressive as far as managing?
I mean, the wild card series they're short, and you can use your high leverage guys basically every game or close, pretty close to it. So the guys that give you the 2 and 3 and even more inning stints, like the guys you mentioned, it's harder to find the right spots for them in winning games in the wild card series. But as these series stretch out, I think those guys they claim their role and they're going to find their way into these ball games, both of them. So I think you're going to see that more in a 5-game series and certainly in a 7-game series where you can use those guys to go out there, not just cover innings, but to win ball games.
Anything else for Rocco? All right, Rocco, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys. Got it.